All right, let's get started. So, we are talking about how do you hypnotize yourself in order to reach your dreams. So this is kind of a weird thing. I'm not going to tell you how to actually hypnotize yourself, okay? So, sometimes I do the how-to videos like authentic journaling or, some meditation videos. I'm not going to teach you how to hypnotize yourself or anybody else, okay? So let me back up and say that sometimes I work with clients in transition, okay? So they are probably working from one job to the next job, or they're working from, I'm going to be retiring soon. What am I going to do afterwards? Many times, especially during this pandemic time, I'm finding I'm working with a lot of people who all of a sudden are having huge shifts in their career and they're not quite sure what to do, right? And as we're walking through this process, I'm noticing this statement that Maxwell Maltz said, that we hypnotize ourselves into believing that we can't do things. Okay? So one of the things that I hear all the time is, somebody will come on the line and they'll say, Michelle, this is what I want. And they'll lay it all out. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. Okay, let's work towards that, right? And then the next thing I hear is all of the hurdles, why they can't move forward. So they're literally trying to convince me, who's there to help them grow into their dream, they're trying to convince me that they can't do that, okay? Well, first of all, let me just tell you as your coach, that will never happen. I will never be convinced that you can't do that, because I know you can, okay? But you have somehow hypnotized yourself to think that you can't have that, okay? Sometimes I have people who say, I've got to give up something that's really, really good in order to get that dream. Yeah, you might have to, right? Somebody who wants to go out and do things on their own, you know what? One of the things you might have to give up is a good paying job. Now, there's ways that you can capitalize on that, and let me just give this little warning. This isn't supposed to be part of this podcast, but let me just tell you this, that if you are getting ready to jump out and to do something on your own, please contact me or a really good business coach, because there are things that you can do when you're already in your current job that can help you be successful. So when you jump out, man, you hit the ground running, okay? Sometimes people say, I just have to escape this situation, right? Usually it's their boss or the leadership team, right? So that maybe they've hit a lid. They can't go any farther. Maybe they've gotten to the point where I just can't progress in this company anymore. Or maybe their boss got promoted a couple levels higher than what they're capable about, and they're really having issues, right? Sometimes it's also an issue with, I just can't do this work anymore. It doesn't fulfill me, okay? So they're trying to escape something. What they typically don't realize is that, guess what? Newsflash, but guess who goes with you when you leave? You. And so if you haven't figured out how to deal with a difficult boss, doing work that you might not like, name it, right? Go through and name all of your issues. If you haven't figured out how to deal with that, it's going to come back just in a different job, a different career, or in your own business. Okay? So some people also think, I'm going to miss out on something if I leave from here. Well, yeah, you probably will. And that's okay, because you're going to something, right? There's a difference of leaving someplace and going to someplace. Okay? Now, I just want to say this, that those are all of the beliefs that pop up that you kind of have running around in your mind that are keeping you from going towards your dream, going towards the next thing in your journey. Do you understand that? Okay. So you hypnotize yourself with these thoughts of, I can't do this. Okay? I can't have this. I can't go towards this because of blank, blank, blank. Okay? So, all right. You might understand that. So what do we do? When you know that that's the case, what do you do? Well, we work on beliefs, right? And in the goal to get you to your results. Okay, so I'm not like a therapist or a counselor, although some people will say that, because a therapist and a counselor really helps you to look backwards in your life to see trends and hope that you can apply it to your current life, right? Whereas what I do as your mindset mechanic, I come in and I say, what's happening right now? Where do you want to go? And how can we get you there? And we also look back because we need to know what are the patterns and habits that got you to this place that we might need to tweak a little bit to get you to this place. Okay? So how do we do that? Well, we play around with thoughts and ideas. I challenge people all the time. If you have followed my work for any length of a time, you understand I love to give people a challenge, right? I'm perfectly comfortable with your discomfort because on the other side of that is growth and change. So we focus on a lot of different ideas, but some of the major ones that I typically focus on with other people are perspective, right? So understanding that how you think about things is one perspective, but there could be 100 different perspectives out there, right? And you get to choose what you're going to think. So if that's the case, let's run through all the different perspectives you might have and then choose the best one. We also talk about the 7 laws of creation as they're applied to your thinking. So there are laws of creation. So one law is the law of gravity, right? It's a law. It works whether you believe it or not. It works whether you're ignorant of it or not. It's not a respecter of person. So if you jump off your house and you break your leg, the law of gravity isn't going to say, oh, he's a really nice guy. We'll make sure he doesn't get hurt, right? It's a law. Okay, so there are 7 different laws that when you understand them and how they apply to your thinking, you can now see where you're getting hung up, right? And how to get unstuck. Another one that we deal with a lot is drama, right? I mean, let's just face it, there's drama everywhere. So understanding what is drama, where does it come from, and how can you get rid of it or limit it in your life? That's going to help you to move forward. We also focus on forgiveness. A lot of people will look at forgiveness as a personal development tool, which it is. However, I've worked with CEOs who I come in and honestly the issue that they're having is a forgiveness problem from many years ago. And once they handle that problem, guess what? They skyrocket in their results. So we play around with these different ideas and again, I'm the mindset mechanic. So I go in there and I tinker around and say, okay, well, what about this? And what about that? So I tell you that because we often look at, I should just do this, right? Or, you go read a book and the book says you should do this. And then you go try it and you're like, how come that doesn't work? Because the real issue isn't knowing what to do. You already know what to do. The real issue is in the beliefs that you have kind of, hypnotized yourself over time, right? So you need to be de-hypnotized and maybe re-hypnotized to what you really want in the future, okay? And you might need a little help for that. So one of the things I can tell you is that we just recently in January, actually, we did a 90-day course right before this pandemic hit, actually, and of our Life on Purpose program. So that program is really purposed to help people walk through some of those tough mindset issues. Now, the reason that I love it as a coach and a business person is I get to coach hundreds of people all at the same time. You're getting the same lessons that you would get through an online course that you would get from me one-to-one, okay? And so I offer that up because, as I was getting this material around together, I thought, gosh, this just the tippy top of the iceberg. How can I really let you in on this? And then I realized, wait a minute, I've already done 12 hours of teaching on this very topic. So if you are interested in that program, follow the link in the comments. Go see if it's right for you. It might not be right for you right now, and that's just fine. Just go see if it's right for you, okay? Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for showing up today. I really appreciate it. I know I tell you guys that all the time, but I really mean it all the time. I'm so grateful to our listeners, especially our regular listeners. Man, some of you, you're just so faithful with reaching out and letting me know not only what you learned from this, but how you're implementing the ideas. And I love that because I am a growth and change junkie. So anytime you tell me, hey, Michelle, I was listening and this is what I thought and this is what I did, I love it. So keep that coming, okay? Awesome. So with that, I release you into the wild. Go forth and prosper. Have an amazing day, and we'll catch you next time. All right. Bye-bye.